Hello and welcome back to Space Engineers. In today's video, we're looking at another large block space station, where this one that I'm currently standing on, and which you'll see in just a moment, is called the S.C.E Ryvius Station, which I'm hopefully saying correctly, but it's this lovely thing over here. So this is basically a blank slate station, where it's got a bunch of LCD screens with nothing going on with it, so you can essentially take this station, put your logo onto all the LCD screens, redecorate the inside with all kind of logos or color patterns you want, and use it for your own personal faction in survival mode. And speaking of survival mode, it features almost everything you need to survive in survival mode. It's got refineries, it's got assemblies, medical bay, crew quarters, plenty of places for ships to dock up to. The only thing this station is missing are defense in the form of turrets, which could be pretty useful, unless of course you've turned off drones in the world settings. So pressing F10 and find it in the spawn menu, the Ryvius Station, and there's the spelling right there, is a whopping 5,852 large blocks, using one hell of a lot of the DLC packs. We've got a nice bit of information about it, such as its block, PCU limit, what it has on there, and all the way down to the bottom, we see it's got 6 refineries and 6 assemblers. So going to give this thing a thumbs up. We're going to have a very brief look around the outside, not going to do the traditional thing, which is me pointing out all the little bits of detail. We're going to have a little pan around the outside, then we're going to get into the meat of it, and have a proper good look around the inside. And of course, if you are interested in SkyBox currently using, this one is also a golden SkyBox. I believe it is called Golden Ring, unlike the previous SkyBox called Golden Road, where this one is much darker, and it features much more yellows, much more reds, and will severely lacks any kind of blues, any kind of greens, and anything bright like that. Yes, over onto the station where I'm standing, this is one of your docking pads, which is one of the few connectors that are available on this ship for a large ship to come and dock up to. We've got a doorway right behind it that comes past a rather incredible looking. It's kind of basic really at the end of the day, but I don't know why. I really like walking through the tunnel because it's got a bunch of glass blocks. It's very minimalistic, but it does great work with the overall blocks it uses. We'll see that in just a moment. Round onto the side, and of course on the left hand side as well, so they are identical. We then got another docking pad, once again with a connector on the end there, with a couple of railings to make sure you don't fall off it. And it is big enough for you to land a ship down onto that platform if you don't want to use that connector. Moving all the way along, here's our lovely glass tunnel to walk through, which I just talked about, where below that we can see a bunch of O2HU generators just to help out with refining up all the ice that you dump off at this station. Anyway, along to the side there's a safe zone block, so you can turn this into an actual protected area. There's another connector on top, just in case those side connectors are currently in use. Over to the main body, some fantastic use of our beam blocks, window blocks, and these white and grey steel blocks. Where right at the bottom here, we've got ourselves our proper living quarters. We've got sofas around the room, gigantic TV screens, got entertainment centres and whatnot. Moving up slightly, we then got essentially like a small hotel room for you to spend your nights here while you're waiting for your ships to load and unload stuff. And it's also a place where we feature our medical bay block to respawn on and to change your skins and whatnot. All the way up the middle here, once again some more fantastic use of our steel blocks. Till we get over to this section right here. This is at the very top of the tower, basically your control room, where we do have a bunch of jump drives on it, where we can jump a ridiculous range. I believe it is 32,000 kilometers, so we have that if we need to. Although, speaking of that, there is one small problem which I might have missed out. It might be actually on the station, but I could not find a control seat or any kind of flight seat to actually get inside to control this thing. So if you want to use those jump drives, you may have to plop down a seat somewhere on this so you can actually utilize them. Yes, this is where our large reactors are sitting to give it a nice little power. And as you can see around the top there, we've got some laser antenna. Then all the way at the very top, we've got 2 large cargo containers, which is one of many containers that are featured on this station. Anyway, all the way back down onto the side, and speaking of cargo containers, here they all are. This is our cargo bay to store all the goods in the station, and no, I do not know why the shadows are doing that. I believe it is a problem with the SkyBox, which is going to have to bear with it for the moment. We've got a bunch of catwalks all the way across these cargo containers, with these weird pillars in the middle, made out of a column, some steel blocks, and then some of those half walls. That comes all the way across towards the very end there. And there we are, just a straight dead end, where we can easily drop stuff in manually if you want to, and of course steal stuff if we are a criminal. Round towards the opposite side. There we go. And of course the main body here will be basically the same as what we just saw on the other side of this thing. But then all the way over to here, we've got another glass room. But this is going to be where your refineries are sitting, and there's the modules attached onto your refineries. Around onto the side here. Here we go, lovely glass windows so we can actually see what's going on, and who's walking around on the inside there. And to the opposite side. There we go. Then all the way over to here, we then got another section, much like the cargo containers we saw on the opposite side of the station, but instead of cargo containers, we then got hydrogen tanks, lots and lots of hydrogen tanks, very exposed, So if you do have a pesky pirate coming across to you, and they start to shoot into this is going to create one hell of an explosion. Yes, it is set up basically identical to what we just saw, with catwalks going all the way across. And there we are with that. So moving all the way up and looking down this thing, there's the top of that, still flickering away there with its weird shadows. And the top of the main body, we've got a few windows peer down into our control center, but there's a very good look at our cargo containers on top. All the way over to this section, we see our modules, and of course a small walkway to go all the way through. And all the way over to this part, where our containers are all sitting, there's all the catwalks going across. Then over to this part, which is where we started with, there's our connectors on top, windows peer inside a lovely little walkway, and there I am at the very front. Moving all the way down and underneath this thing, almost lost my mouse there, because of a cat trying to play with it. Put my light on, fantastic use of our hazard skin, there's the bottom of our conveyors for everything to link up to. All the way across there, there's our O2HU generators. And over to the main body of the station, we've got a bunch of steel blocks, a couple of window blocks so we can peer down to the bottom of that room. There's these little black blocks are our inset light blocks to help light up our living quarters. Then of course the bottom on the side there, hydrogen tanks, cargo containers, and all the way over to here, can't really see too much other than some light grey blocks. There's some dark raised up steel blocks just to cover up the bottom of that refining section. And there we go with the outside of the Ryvius Station. It's bloody fantastic how it's all been set up. Would have been great if the shadows weren't flicking around like it is currently, but nevertheless, grab a hold of my character, it's time to have a tour of the inside. So walking forwards and opening up this doorway, we've got a double door for an airlock, opening up this, onto the inside, and here we are. This is the part that I really love about the station. I don't know why, I think it's just because it is a large open area that's very minimalistic with how it's all been set up. But due to the fact we can look outside, see the Earth-like planet, see the moon, see the lovely SkyBox just jittering away in the background there, I don't know, it just worked very, very well. But yes, on the left and right hand side, we then got our airlocks for the side docking pads right there. And as we walk all the way along, we'll start to sprint. We now walk through this lovely little tunnel. We see our conveyors going all the way along the top there. And eventually we'll get across to our doorway that leads us to the main tower. So into here, we see the doorway's already opened up because I was in here just a minute ago. So closing that behind me, opening up this, and here we are. This is why I said it was more of a you fix it up yourself, because we've got a bunch of LCD screens lining up the station with nothing going on with them, so you can display your personal logo on this for your faction, and also you can decorate this room, re-change up the colours, put down some skin blocks if you want to, like what I'd personally do on this grey section right here, is to replace it with the wooden block on a lovely dark brown colouring, then maybe have some black carbon fibre blocks, just going across on these lighter grey blocks, just to break it all up. I think it come across much more friendlier, much more homey-like, with how it's all been set up compared to what it is right now. For the rest of this room, we've got some doorways that lead us to the opposite sides of the platform, and then some steps go all the way up. Then in the middle here, on the opposite side, we'll have a ladder that takes us all the way up to our control center, which is all the way up there. But yes, what we're going to do is come through this section, because this is going to take us to our storage bay, where we do have two small cargo containers for a quick access to what's going on with all of our containers. So opening up this, into here, we can see a bunch of conveyors leading across to our refineries, and of course onto this side, in these little gaps right here, here is our assemblies, where that's where the modules were on the outside of the station. Walking all the way across on these lovely catwalks with our covered conveyors right below them, all the way across towards the very back there, and there's the windows we saw as we went around on these sides. Anyway, turning around, now actually jetpack all the way up onto these sections right here, here we go. Then just dropping myself all the way down, it was a little bit awkward, but now we can walk across all of this section, and here we are with our lovely assemblies and how they've been set up and how they've been utilised. So we've got a catwalk coming all the way across to it, so now just walk onto here, set stuff up, and away we go. But other than that, as for this room, that's basically it. So all we've got to do now is come past all this, down these steps, and now go back to the central room. So walking through these doors, we're going to close up right behind me. There we go. We now got our left and right to go through. So what we're going to do now is come through the left, open up this, open up that. Now we're going to come across to the section that has all of our cargo containers exposed onto the side, and we're instantly greeted by a safety first sign, where we see it's been 0 days without an incident. So something has just happened, probably me falling down some steps. Hey, what you can do about that? So we walk across this section, all come through the side on the opposite is identical how it's all been set up. But I walk across these catwalks, repair up these cargo containers if they ever took damage, and eventually we'll come up these steps, all the way around. Now we can easily access the top of these to put stuff in and out if we need to. Then we can drop some bottles inside there, and there we are with that. And of course we've got these weird pillars in the middle painted out some columns, steel block, and of course these half blocks right here. They look very odd like little antennas. You could very easily put some turrets on top if you wanted to, like on each of these put a Gatling gun or an interior turret on each of the side sections, tidy up to you. Walking to the end here, There we are with the Earth-like planet in the distance. So as for that, we now come to the opposite side, down these steps, here we go. Now come all the way back around, now back into the middle of this station. There we go, closing out that door to mark where we've been. So from here, we now got to come to the opposite side, open up this. This is going to be basically what we just saw, but this time with our hydrogen tanks. But we don't have a little safety sign there saying there's any accidents, so I'm presuming all the accidents happen on the opposite side. Anyway, very quickly just sprinting through all of this, up these steps, identical setup, all the way around. There we are on the opposite side, where we just about make out the Mars-like planet all the way in the distance. So back down to here, round, and down the steps. Now it's time to come further down into the station before we head up and end the video. So what we've got to do now is find our steps, not down there, there's a bit of a safety hazard, you can easily fall down that. Anyway, round to here, down these steps, here we go. Now come to the very bottom of the station, where there is our full-on medical way block to change our skin, respawn on, and of course to heal ourselves up. But what we're going to do is now come down this section. We've got a couple of beds lining the room, but like I said on the outside, it's like a little hotel section, where your passengers, your visitors, can come and sleep here, then come across over to this side. We've then got our toilets, there's a toilet, closing up that, into this one, another toilet, and turning around, got some windows peer down at the bottom of the station. So walking across this, moving further down, here's our living quarters, where we see some sofas, walking all the way up to them, turning around, there's our entertainment centres with nothing set up. Yes, we now just sit here and peer off into the distance and look at all the enemies charging towards you, firing their missiles, and all of that. Anyway, past this, into here we've got a gigantic clock. On the opposite side, we've got like a small advertisement for another ship. This is the S.C.E Javelin, which does look quite nice. It's a bit blurry due to the way it's been, well, converted to an LCD screen image, but just moving away there, it does look quite fancy. It does look like something I have done a showcase on in the past, but not too sure, so I'll check on that a bit later. But anyway, lining the room, then we've got our vendor blocks. There we go, with a locker in the middle, onto the opposite side, identical setup. Coming around to here, once again, identical setup with our chairs and entertainment centres. So I suppose all that's left to do is come around this side. I think this is the correct side. So we've got some seats lining the wall. And now we can come all the way up this. We should be on the opposite side of the station where we just were. No, that's the exact same part. Let's come all the way across. All the way up. And there we are. Oh, I've got myself confused. I believe this is the correct side, so we're going to come into here. There should be one that has a shower and toilet. I have a feeling I'm in the wrong section. No, I am not. Here we are. Here's the doorway. So here's the shower. Here's the secondary shower, so you're going to get two people showering together. That's a very odd setup, but yes, closing the doorway. It's now time to head all the way up and go up to our control center. So up and around, into here, onto the opposite side. Here is our ladder. Jetpacking all the way up, but not all the way up to the top, so it's a sneaky little section for us to walk around in. So past this part, up to here we are. Here's our sneaky section. We come to the bottom of our jump drives, which we can access from the floor above. But this is a small area that you can decorate if you want to. Put some more stuff on here if you needed to, like more reactors, more batteries and whatnot. Yes, we should walk around here, repair the jump drives if they ever took damage, and of course use these sneaky little hidey holes to hide yourself from any kind of boarding pirates who might be here for your booty. Anyway, dropping down, come back around to where I just was. So into this part right here, and then jetpacking all the way up to our final floor. There we are. Across to here, jetpacking up once again. Now coming all the way down. And this is what we're greeted with. So we've got another bloody big LCD to tell us our power and hydrogen. Looking around the floor, a bunch of jump drives. Then we can see some programmable blocks. None of them have anything going on with them. So if you want to, and what I'd recommend is whips, auto door, and LL scripts, or maybe the simple door scripts, and anything else you can think of. There is our industrial reactors, which is currently providing one hell of a lot of power to the station. We see a bunch of conveyors which are currently not linked up to anything. They are purely there for some decoration. Then around the floor, some fantastic use of our hazard skin in a less hazard and more zebra striped style. Yes, other than that, that's it for this room. We do have cargo access, we've got a gravity generator, we see our inset light blocks, but no seat to sit in to control this thing. So when it comes to driving this thing, unless I have completely missed out, unless it's somewhere very obvious that I am missing, when it comes to actually jumping these jump drives, you will need to place down your seat yourself to actually utilize them. But there we go, there is our maximum jump distance of 32,000 kilometers, which is bloody good stuff, considering how many are on here. So it doesn't actually list how many are actually on here, so we're going to come down to here, type in jump drive, there we go, and that's how many we have got. So yes, other than that, that's it for what this station has to offer. It's a bloody good station for you to decorate yourself, for you to spruce up your own faction design, and utilize it in survival mode, Like I said, you will want to have AC on here to actually make use of the jump drives. Maybe attach on some thrusters to move it around, attach on some turrets to make sure you're not a sitting duck to any kind of drones coming towards you, or any other enemies spawned in via other mods, like the modular systems and counter mods. They can spawn in some quite nasty stuff. So to finish off this video, what I think I'm going to do is line up the inside with some warheads. We're going to blow it up. There's not too much else I could do with this station. And here we go. So what I've done is place down one hell of a lot of warheads all the way around the station on the inside, top, bottom, and well, pretty much anywhere you can think of. And after 10 seconds or so, it should explode and hopefully will annihilate the entire station. And that'll be that for this video. Because it's a bloody good station to use in survival mode if you do want to spruce it up like I said. And should last you a nice long time. And there we go. That was one hell of a lot of explosions. And when the smoke clears, there we go. What on earth has happened here? It looks like the warheads have well missed a few blocks and everything is staying where it's sitting. So the front here, we can see our catwalks that will go across and up and inside. Looking up to here, there's some random walkways that will come all the way into the middle of the station. There we are. They come all the way up to this part, which would be the top of the station. Looks like a bunch of hydrogen tanks survived. On the opposite side, a bunch of hydrogen tanks also survived. Onto this part of our little refinery bay and all that. Looks like we've got a bunch of models that have also survived, which is still bloody good stuff, because you can salvage them and rebuild up a much smaller station. But other than that, that was a bloody good explosion, and a nice way to end this video. Yes, other than that, that's it for this video. There'll be a link to it in the description below if you wish to download and play around yourself. Highly recommend you do, as well as a link to the SkyBox I'm currently using. I'll be back with another video some point soon. Bye bye.